Ever feel like you're getting lost in Turkish sentences? Well, today we're going to fix that. We are unlocking the secret to Turkish grammar's built-in GPS. Seriously, it's this incredible system that tells you exactly where things are coming from, where they are, and where they're going. By the end of this, you'll be navigating the language like you were born there. Let's jump in.
You know, when it comes right down to it, almost everything about direction in Turkish boils down to these three simple questions. First, nereden, from where? That's your starting point, your origin. Then, nerede, where? That's your current spot, a static location. And finally, nereye, to where? That's your destination. If you can get these three questions deep into your brain, you've honestly mastered the core logic of movement for the entire language.
So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we're going to map out physical space, just to nail down that core logic. Then, we'll get into something I call verb magnets, these fascinating verbs that pull these rules into the world of ideas and feelings. After that, we'll go on a little mistake hunt to avoid some common wrong turns, and finally, we'll look at the master rulebook that ties it all together beautifully. You ready?
Okay, let's dive right into our first section. We're starting with the physical world for a very good reason. By visualizing how actual things move around in real space, we're going to build a super strong foundation that makes all of this grammar totally unforgettable.
Let's start with something really simple, a cat and a box. So picture this. When the cat is coming out of the box, it's leaving a place, right? It's coming from somewhere. So we use the from suffix, dan. Kedi kutudan çıkıyor. Now, what if it's going into the box? It's moving towards a destination. For that, we need the to suffix, ya. Kedi kutuya giriyor. See that? It's a crystal clear difference, departure versus arrival.
But what if the cat isn't moving at all? What if it's just, chilling in the box? No movement, no direction. For this kind of static location, we use the at or in suffix, da. Kedi kutuda uyuyor. The cat is sleeping in the box. It's not going anywhere, it's not coming from anywhere. It is simply at a location. And that right there is the crucial difference.
Okay, now what's so cool is that this exact same logic scales up. Let's apply it to something bigger, like a plane and a city. A plane taking off from Istanbul, you guessed it. Uçak İstanbul'dan kalkıyor. There's a from suffix again, dan. Now, what about a plane landing in Istanbul? That's its destination. So, uçak İstanbul'a iniyor. See? It's the exact same logic, just with a much bigger box. And what if the plane is just waiting on the tarmac, not going anywhere? It's stationary.
Uçak İstanbul'da bekliyor.
It's waiting in Istanbul. This system is so consistent, it's beautiful. Think about it with money. Money in your wallet? That's the da case. Taking money from your wallet? That's the dan case. Once you see this pattern, you'll start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
All right, time to level up. This whole GPS logic isn't just for physical places. And this, my friends, is where it gets really interesting. Some Turkish verbs act like magnets. They have this kind of grammatical gravity that just pulls a specific directional case ending towards them to complete their meaning, even when we're talking about abstract things like ideas or feelings.
So yeah, we're calling these verb magnets. So what is it exactly? It's a verb that, just by its very definition, needs a direction to make sense. Think about it. In Turkish, you don't just fear, you fear from something. You don't just start, you start to do something. The direction is literally baked right into the verb's meaning. This table breaks it all down for us into three buckets. Let's check out the from bucket first, the one that uses den. The verb korkmak, to be afraid, is a perfect example. You say, ben karanlıktan korkarım. Literally, I am afraid from the dark, because the fear is coming from it. Make sense? Now the to bucket, using ya, a verb like başlamak, to begin, needs a destination. Derse başlıyoruz, we are beginning to the lesson. And finally, the at or in bucket with da. Verbs like yaşamak, to live, are all about being in a static location. Biz Ankara da yaşıyoruz. We live in Ankara. Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. It's time to become mistake hunters. We're going to track down the three most frequent errors that learners make with these cases and figure out exactly why they're wrong. This is how you really go from knowing the rule to actually feeling it.
First step on our hunt, getting off the bus. Now, a super common mistake is to say otobüse iniyorum. I get it, it feels logical, like you're getting to the street. But the correct way to say it is otobüsten iniyorum. So why is that? What's the logic here?
Here's the key. The verb inmek doesn't just mean to get off. Its core meaning is to descend, to come down. It's all about departure from a higher position, in this case, the bus. You are moving away from the bus. That's why it demands that departure suffix, done.
Okay, our second wrong turn takes us into the world of emotions. A learner tried to say they're afraid of a dog and say something like "kope korkiorum," trying to make the dog a direct object. But the correct way is "kopekten korkiorum."
And this, right here, is a perfect illustration of that verb magnet concept we were just talking about. In the Turkish mindset, fear isn't something you do to an object. It's an emotion that starts from a source and comes toward you. So you have to identify that source with the from or departure suffix. You are literally afraid from the dog.
And for our final one, the absolute classic mix-up between a static location and a destination. A learner might say "Okulda gidiyorum," trying to say "I am going" and mentioning the school. But that literally means "I am going at the school," which is wrong. The right way is "Okula gidiyorum."
The logic here is just crystal clear. The verb gitmek, to go, is a pure verb of motion. I mean, that's what it is. And motion always requires a target, a destination. You can't go at a place, you have to go to a place. That's why it absolutely demands the directional to suffix, ya, no exceptions. All right, we have the what and the why. Now it's time for the how. We've got the logic down, but we need to know how these suffixes actually change their shape to fit the words they're attached to. This next part is your master key to making it all sound perfectly natural.
Okay, take a deep breath. This table might look a little intimidating, but I promise the logic behind it is actually super simple and elegant. It's all about something called vowel harmony. In Turkish, vowels in a word like to sound similar. So, look at that first column. If a word's last vowel is a back vowel, like a or o, the suffix will also use an a, like in okulda. But now look at the second column. If the last vowel is a front vowel, like a or e, the suffix uses an a to match, like in evde. It just makes the sound flow. There's one more little rule. If a word ends in a hard voiceless consonant, like p, t, or k, think of the word kitap, the d in the suffix actually hardens into a t to match it. So it's not kitapda, it's kitapta. Again, it's all about making the language flow smoothly. I highly, highly recommend you take a screenshot of this slide. It is your ultimate cheat sheet for getting these sounds right every single time.
So there you have it, the logic, the verb magnets, the common mistakes, and the rules of sound. You now officially have the map. You have the GPS for navigating location and direction in Turkish. So the only question left is the most important one. Nereye gidiyorsun? Where are you going with your language journey now?